Mitchell has his head up, takes the feet. Oh, my! Donovan! Get that weak stuff out of here!
Muddies thing, so I want to see if they can kind of adapt this new Jarrett Allen play with Evan Mobley.
So who knew that Jarrett Allen was going to be the floor spacer that they needed, and it's not Evan Mobley, maybe,
not me.
Like Jarrett Allen has been working on that free throw line jump shot, that elbow jump shot, and like we see him doing it in pregame, and like he's confident when he shoots it. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. And then, Jackson, you've written about this a couple of times. I know you say I don't read your stories, but I do. You've written about the big man to big man assist. The Jarrett Allen assist to Evan Mobley. It's usually that way. But like they start and they do that and use that. If Jarrett Allen can consistently knock down that 15 to 18 footer, and like Evan Mobley, he was leading the league in dunks before he went down. Like if he can stay in that dunk, he can still stay in that dunker spot. The offense just changes a little bit to what we thought Evan Mobley was going to be. But if Jarrett Allen's the guy who spreads the floor, then okay, we'll take it.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. I'm really glad you brought that up, because just to set up the segment, Evan Mobley's return is coming probably by the time this episode's out. We're recording on Sunday. He's expected to play on Monday against the Clippers. He'll be on a minutes restriction, but the one thing that I'm so excited about and I've been talking about is that everything you just said, if Jarrett Allen has just shown that he can play above the break a little bit and handle the ball and do what we were maybe expecting Mobley to do, like that's a win. Yeah, a lot of people are worried about what happens when you add Mobley back into this lineup. And it's like, well, everything we just learned hopefully will translate. Mobley is great in the paint. If we're going to say, hey, maybe he's not ready to be that floor spacer, have as much ball handling responsibilities as we wanted to, well, great. We can stick him in the paint. Let Jarrett Allen do his thing. Is the spacing going to be perfect? No, but if you have Mobley hovering down there and Allen's able to keep doing what he's been doing, that's a pretty good duo to have. And it's something that not many teams can do against the drop coverage. So I'm really excited to see this.
And there's something to be said about having two really good defenders in the back line. Like there's something to be said about that. And I mean, yeah, tomorrow it may look funky, against the Clippers with reacclimating, Evan getting back into it, and but he'll take the Tristan Thompson minutes, like that 8 minutes, that so somebody else doesn't have to play. You know what I'm saying? So like it's okay. This is the perfect time actually. So I'm happy.
Hopefully Evan learned how to set a screen for Sam Merrill.
Okay.
Because
his brother can do it.
That's what they need.
Hopefully that rubs off.
Isaiah does it great. You would not believe.
It's
phenomenal.
Listen, Jackson, he over exaggerates a lot, but Isaiah Mobley's screens for Sam Merrill, thing of perfection.
The one thing that Jackson's 100% not exaggerating on.
He's got that.
I didn't exaggerate any of Sam Merrill's.
No, you were right.
Ability.
I also want to point out, on a side, like Jackson has been the most vocal about it, but everybody saw that Sam Merrill was like really good.
Anybody who watched him could see it.
Yes.
Listen. Nobody else was jumping out in front of this. I was. So, Jason, you had a chance to jump out in front of this. You didn't.
I mean, I've written several stories talking about how good Sam Merrill is.
Right, but not like last year. Last year.
They all came last year.
Whatever. I don't read you.
We know that. And over the summer. Like he showed all of this, in all honesty, he showed all of this in summer league. Like he's really, and I a part of that's a different conversation. Never mind.
Go for it.
No, I mean, a part of me wonders, like, did we really have to pay Max Strus that money when we have a guy, now Max Strus is a lot more than a shooter. I will say that he's been a pleasant surprise coming from Miami. So I don't want to rag on Max Strus, because I think Max Strus is needed. He's played every game this year. He hasn't missed a game, played through injury. I really like Max Strus. He's been very good. But Sam Merrill is really good as well.
Yeah.
We've seen enough.
Just Evan needs to set screens for him. That's the whole thing. We just need Evan to set screens. And he needs to make contact on those screens. And I hope him and Isaiah have talked about it.
The last point I wanted to make about Strus is that with all the great stuff he's doing outside of shooting, you kind of just hope that he has shown in the past that when he's hot, he really is that level of a shooter. He just hasn't been very consistent this year, and really throughout his career, he's been a bit inconsistent. But with a player like that, you just hope, like, man, if he goes on a burner in the playoffs, like that can get you through an entire round. So happy with the way Strus has played, and very happy with Merrill's resurgence, or arrival. But let's bring this back to Mobley and focus on him a little bit here for this segment.
That is what is written on the bottom, so I guess we do have to talk about that.
Listen, this is my fault for not having a Sam Merrill topic because I knew it would probably come
Jason
up.
brought it up just so the record.
It's okay. It was inevitable. It's worth bringing up, but
I did bring it up. So but Jason really talked about it. I talked about Isaiah and Evan.
To wrap up to really get the Mobley conversation started and then wrap it up. The main thing I want to know is, what does his return mean for the team, and primarily, what's going to be the biggest adjustment? I think you may have already mentioned it, but Jason, you can take it away.
I think right now the biggest thing is just reacclimating and getting back into the flow. Like, it's really hard for a guy to go out, and then see the team's success, and they're wanting to be a part of that. Like, no, I can add to it. I can add to it because the pressure is on. Like, him and Garland, when they come back, if this thing falls off the rails again, like, people are going to be looking at. We're going to hear all of the, hey, you got to get these. One of those guys has to go, and with the way that Jarrett has played, people will start saying foolish things like trade Mobley, trade. Like that's foolish. Right. But so there's pressure there. But just take it time. Like, it's going to take time. I think that one of the good things is he's going to be on a minutes restriction. So you can stagger him and Allen. So you don't have to change a lot of what you've been doing, especially like from now until, for about a month or so. Like, he's going to be on that restriction. So, staggering him and Allen, still having one big on the floor and things like that, and letting them play spot minutes together. But like, as long as there's just one big on the floor, it's going to be fine because you don't have to change much.
I think it's interesting defensively, both of them together. I think that's going to be interesting because the Cavs have been incredible defensively over this last 9-10 game stretch, where I don't know. Like, they've changed how they're playing in the sense that they're like not helping as much and kind of trusting everyone more so on an island to like defend their guy. And I think you've really seen that with Donovan Mitchell. He's played his best defense of his career. I kind of touched on this last episode where, like, before this kind of stretch here throughout his whole career, it's like you're playing with Gobert, just kind of do your thing on offense and Gobert will clean it up on defense. And the same thing last year with Allen and Mobley behind him. Whereas during the stretch, you're saying, oh, he has a 6'10" wingspan and he can actually use it and he can actually be not a traffic cone, but even like a good defender. So that's where it's like, I'm kind of wonder if they're going to rely less on Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen kind of over helping because the defensive rebounding has been great. And that's something that they've struggled with. And it's not because like Dean Wade's a better rebounder than Evan Mobley. It's because they're staying more in their positions. They're not over helping. They're not like breaking the defense just because Jalen Brunson dribbles the ball on the floor. So that's kind of what I'm almost more interested in, because if you can keep up this defense while adding what many people think is like one of the 3 best defenders in the league to it, that should be great, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think so. I honestly don't worry about his defense. Like, he's an all-world defender because one thing that him and his brother, we like to give Isaiah shout-outs anytime we can. But one thing about them, like, they're extremely smart players. And, like, while Isaiah might not be the athlete that Evan is, they're always in the right position, right? Offensively and defensively. So, like, I don't think that Evan is all of a sudden going to now not be able to defend. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's not going out there chasing point guards or anything like that. But like, that may take time to come back. But being in the right spot and being 7 feet, that doesn't change.
I think it's more so how the team philosophy is in terms of how they're kind of instructing them to overhelp. Because I don't think like Jarrett Allen was just like short circuiting every time he saw Jalen Brunson drive and he like ran to the free throw line to help. I think it was more so this is what the team's philosophy was. And I think that's what's really changed over this time is that they're not overhelping. They're staying more connected to 3-point shooters. And like, you're not getting those games where it's like, oh man, this team just happens to hit it 50% of their threes against the Cavs again. And it's like, yeah, that happens because like Kevin Herter got off 9 threes. Like you can't let Kevin Herter get off 9 threes and expect him not to hit any of them. So it's like, that's what I think has been really really impressive during this stretch. And it's not that, oh, Evan Mobley's coming back and they're going to he's going to mess that up. It's more so like, is the team philosophy going to revert back to what it was at the beginning of the season and last season where you allowed that to happen more?
Yeah, I think last season and early this season before the injuries, they were trying to funnel everything to their all-world defenders, right? Just send it all there. And what they found out during this stretch is, hey, we can keep Jarrett Allen fresh and out of foul trouble if we just stick our man, right? And now you're adding another all-world defender who can stick his man. So that's the area that I don't think, should change much. Now, the challenge is Garland, who's not a great defender, because now with Mitchell playing point guard, essentially, and him being committed to defense, it looks a little better because they're putting a more traditional lineup out there, with Mitchell at the 1 and Strus at the 2 and then Wade. It's a more traditional lineup. With Garland, you go back to what your strength is, but it's not traditional. But as long as they are still committed, then they should be fine.